Have you ever typed a question into ChatGPT, Gemini, or Copilot, expecting this brilliant, insightful response, only to get back something completely generic, or unhelpful, or, just wildly inaccurate? You are definitely not alone. We've all been there. You stare at the screen wondering, why can't this highly advanced technology seem to figure out what I actually want? Well, here's the secret. The problem usually isn't the AI, it's actually how we're talking to it. The AI doesn't know what you want unless you explicitly tell it, in a language it truly understands. So, welcome to this explainer. Today we are going to unlock that exact secret language. We're basing our journey on an incredibly comprehensive guide by C.M. Mira, which perfectly breaks down how to take a highly technical buzzword, prompt engineering, and turn it into an everyday, super practical skill. Our goal today is to give you the exact tools you need to stop fighting with AI and start directing it with absolute precision. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. What exactly is prompt engineering? 2. The power of good prompts. 3. The ultimate prompt formula. 4. Some advanced prompting techniques. And finally, number 5. Common mistakes you definitely want to avoid.
Let's kick things off with Section 1. What is prompt engineering? This is going to be our foundational anchor for everything that follows.
By definition, prompt engineering is the process of designing and refining instructions given to AI systems in order to obtain accurate, relevant, and high-quality responses. Simply put, it's the art of talking to AI effectively. When you use any AI tool, your prompt is the instruction. You aren't just casually chatting with a friend. You're designing an instruction carefully so the AI gives you the absolute best possible answer. It's kind of like the difference between just telling someone, hey, make food, versus handing them a highly specific recipe for a 3-course meal. All right, moving right along to Section 2, the power of good prompts. Let's look at why this matters so much. Contrasting a poor prompt against an effective one brilliantly illustrates the core of our explainer. It's crucial to remember that the underlying AI hasn't changed its capabilities at all. Literally, the only variable that has changed is the user's input. A weak prompt is vague, and that leads to a very general, often useless answer. But a strong prompt, that's specific. It gives the AI a literal blueprint to produce focused, structured content. Let's look at some real-world examples of this in action.
Okay, so imagine you just type, write about education. The AI is going to give you some massive encyclopedia summary that probably helps no one. It is just way too vague. But check out this effective prompt. Write a 500-word article on the role of AI in higher education in India using simple language and suitable headings. See what happened there? Notice how we added constraints? We gave it a precise word count, a highly specific subtopic, a geographic focus, a tone constraint, and even a formatting instruction. That instantly transforms a generic output into a beautifully structured, focused article.
Here's another brilliant example. Saying explain pollution is a terribly poor prompt. I mean, the AI has no clue if you're a PhD researcher or a primary school student. But the effective prompt explicitly asks to explain the causes, effects, and solutions of air pollution, and crucially, it tacks on for class 10 students with real-life examples. Adding that specific audience is a total game changer. It ensures the response perfectly matches the reader's exact level of understanding, so you avoid all that overly complex jargon while keeping it super engaging with real-world context.
And this applies heavily to professional communication too. A poor prompt like write an email leaves the AI completely in the dark. Who is the email for? What's it even about? But the effective prompt, write a formal email requesting 1 day's leave due to illness, gives the AI the exact context it needs. Using targeted prompts like this in the workplace is an absolute lifesaver. It saves you an immense amount of time and helps you avoid multiple frustrating revisions.
So, how do we do this consistently? That brings us to Section 3, the ultimate prompt formula. Think of this as your cheat code for AI. Here is your blueprint. Combining these 8 elements essentially removes all ambiguity for the AI. First up, you establish the role and the task, who the AI is acting as, and what exactly it needs to do. Next, you give it context and an audience so it completely understands the situation and who will be reading it. Then you lock down the format and the length, dictating exactly what the final output should look like. And finally, you define the tone and any strict constraints, like, say, avoiding jargon or requiring specific examples. Now, what's really interesting about this is seeing how this formula rolls into one single powerful prompt. Check this out. Act as an English professor. Okay, that's the role. Explain the literary device illusion. There's your task. To first-year BA English students. Boom. Audience and context. Use simple language. That's the tone. Include 5 examples, organize with headings, and keep it within 500 words. And those are your constraints, format, and length. By hitting all these markers, the AI literally has no choice but to give you an incredibly tailored, high-quality response.
Ready to level up even more? Let's move to Section 4, Advanced Prompting Techniques. We're going to push past the basic instructions now. CM Mira's guide outlines 4 advanced strategies here to push beyond the basics. Number 1 is zero-shot prompting. This is when you just give the task directly, like, translate this into Malayalam. Number 2 is few-shot prompting. This one is highly effective. You actually give the AI a few examples of what you want before asking it to do the task. Number 3 we've seen. Role prompting, asking the AI to take on a specific persona. But I really want to highlight number 4, chain of thought prompting. This is so powerful. By asking the AI to reason step by step or explain its logic, you actually force it to process complex math or reasoning problems much more accurately, rather than just taking a wild guess at the final answer.
And hey, remember, you absolutely do not have to get it perfectly right on the very first try. With iterative prompting, you treat the whole process as a conversation. You can generate a first draft, read it over, and then refine it by continuously adding layers of constraints. You might reply to the AI with, make it more academic. And then once it does that, you reply, okay, add a Malay citations. And finally, reduce it to 800 words. You can sculpt the answer gradually until it's exactly what you need. Which brings us to our final stop, Section 5, Common Mistakes to Avoid, because knowing what not to do is just as crucial as knowing what to do. So the crucial point here is this. AI cannot reliably infer details that you do not explicitly mention. If your input is too vague or lacks context, the better practice is always providing crystal clear instructions and background. Actually, another major pitfall is giving the AI multiple unrelated tasks at once. It's like asking it to write a poem, explain climate change, and create a lesson plan all in one breath. Just ask one task at a time. And lastly, never expect the AI to guess your intent. Clearly explain your objective right up front for it knows exactly what the finish line looks like. To bring this explainer home, let's recap our core thesis. Prompt engineering is simply the skill of asking AI the right question in the right way to get the best possible answer. It really is that simple, but, it requires practice. By applying the formulas and the constraints we've talked about today, you are essentially taking the steering wheel. You have the power to control the AI, ensuring it works for you, accurately, and creatively, rather than letting it confuse or frustrate you. We've covered the power of specific instructions, that ultimate prompt formula, advanced techniques like chain of thought, and of course, the common mistakes to avoid. Now that you know the secret language of AI, the only thing left to do is practice. I highly encourage you to open your favorite AI tool right now, apply that role, task, context formula, and just see the dramatic difference in your results for yourself. So how will you engineer your next prompt? Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating topic with me. Keep learning, keep experimenting, and I will see you in our next explainer.